Computer, done. We're recording. Now, are we recording? Yes. So, back in September 2017, PMI issued a new PMBoK version 6. Every 4 to 5 years, they change that. So probably by the end of September 2021, they will be coming up with the new version of the PMBoK. Now, should impact on the exam, the impact is you can still sit for the exam on the older version, but they will put a cutoff date where, and they will inform you that you can still sit for version 6 until we, مثلا by this date, you will not be able to do so, and you have to read version 7 and sit for the exam according to version 7 with all the changes, all the questions they're gonna come from version 7. So keep this in mind. And whenever you want to sit for the exam, check for إذا فيها deadline or a cutoff date where you have to use the new version of the PMBoK. Now the changes from edition to edition are not major. Like the changes from the 5th to the 6th edition were not really those changes, big of it changes. They added like 4 processes, removed 2, changed the names of some processes, and added a couple of tools and techniques in different places. Like if you've read version 5, you will still be able to pass the exam even if it's based on version 6. But keep this in mind. As you said, the book is divided into 2 parts, which are redundant. And you can find the same information here and there, but it is split. In its first part, they take you through what we call the knowledge areas. Knowledge areas are specific to a specific knowledge on the project, like integration, scope, schedule, cost, quality, resource, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholder. Whereas part 2 will take you through the 5 process groups that you have to repeat those processes according to each knowledge area, from initiating to planning to executing, monitoring and controlling and closing. So هون بيقولوا لكم specifically to this knowledge area, with cost management, for example, you have to plan for cost management, you have to identify or estimate cost elements, you have to come up with the final budget, you have to monitor and control cost, etc. process groups بيقولوا لكم بالplanning you plan for cost, بالexecuting بيقولوا لكم you incur cost, بالmonitoring and controlling you track and monitor variances against the budget, etc. So it's 2 ways of seeing the same information. And in part 3 you have appendices, glossary and index. Now, the exam and the certification process. The Project Management Institute includes different certification programs. أشهرها هو PMP, Project Management Professional. However, you have different other programs like the Certified Associate Project Manager, the Agile Certified Practitioner, Risk Management Professional, Scheduling Professional, etc. PMBoK is the most comprehensive, and PMP is the most comprehensive, and رح نشوف شو الفرق بين ال PMP وال CAPM or Certified Associate Project Manager. Mainly, الفرق is PMP you need to have specific number of hours in project management experience, whereas in CAPM you don't need to have any experience to sit for the exam to get certified. Plus, the number of questions بالexam بالPMP is 200. The number of questions بالCAPM it's 150 questions instead of 200. Now نشوف the detailed differences between 2. The book is the same for CAPM and PMP, the PMBoK, okay? Now, the competencies that you have to submit so that you will be eligible to sit for the exam. An online place on PMI where you submit your experience, your credentials, your degrees, etc. There's a committee called Certification Governance Council that they review your education and your experience submitted. They will review the proof that you've submitted. They will put the test competency, the 200 scenario-based questions that you have to take in 4 hours. And they review your ongoing development after you pass the exam. رح نفوت بالprocess step by step. The process is the following. First of all, you can be a PMI.org member, which does not mean, this is only like creating a username on PMI.org and paying $135 to be a member, but this does not mean that you've started the application. فيكم تكونوا member صاركم 3 سنين and you decided now to be certified. You start the application process. You click on a button called Start My Application. And from the moment you click that button on PMI.org, you have 90 days to complete the application once you click that button. So you have 3 months to finish the application. Now the application is like, it's not difficult, but if you have to enter like, and you remember from which date to which date you worked on this project, what was the project description, how many hours you spent in planning, how many hours you spent executing, how many hours you spent closing, who was the sponsor, who was the project manager, etc. It's time consuming. This is why they give you 90 days to finish it up. And once you submit the application, the committee will review your application. And they take usually 5 days when you submit it online. So we're in step 2. They take 5 days to review the application. Now, you can bypass the audit process if you are lucky. If you are unlucky, you are probably among the 20% that gets audited. You will have to submit the audit material, okay? And you have 90 days to send the audit material. The audit material is basically what? These are endorsements from the people you put as reference in your application, like the project sponsor, to say that, yes, what Gabby entered on the application is correct. It's complete, accurate, and correct. If you pass the audit or bypass the audit, okay, you will have to pay to sit for the exam. You cannot schedule the exam until you submit the payment for the credential fees. مثل الvisa, when you apply to any embassy, you pay and you either get the visa or you don't get the visa. But in 99% of the time, you will get the visa if you have a complete, or you will get the application if you have a complete details. Once you pay, you will be able to schedule your exam. Now, scheduling the exam is online also, but it is provided by, I think today they changed it from Amethyst to New Horizons. I don't know in Lebanon who else is providing this exam. Plus, during Corona, PMI came up with a new way to sit for the exam. You can do it from home or from your office. You don't have to go to New Horizons. في عندهم شروط، بده يكون في كاميرا عم تاخذ صور، ما بده يكون في حدا بالبيت. إذا فات حدا بالغلط على الأوضة محل ما أنتم you're doing the exam, you will fail the exam, etc. Okay? Keep this in mind and read more about it, how you can sit for the exam from home or go to a prometric center like New Horizons and sit for it. Once you schedule the exam, you have 1 year from the date of the application approval, يعني بعد الأوديت أو هون, where you can take the exam, and you can take the exam up to 3 times during that year. If you fail the exam the first time, you can take it a second time, and you can take it a third time. The fees أقل أكيد من أول مرة, but you have to pay the fees again. Any questions so far بأول part of the process?
We're good.
Okay. If you pass the exam, you have to maintain your credentials. You have to maintain your accreditation or certificate. So you have a cycle that you have to maintain that begins the day you pass the exam and you are bestowed the credentials. They are not for you to use lifetime. You can say now, the moment you pass the exam, you can say, I'm a PMP, I'm certified project management professional. You can put it on your business card, on your email signature, but you have 3 years to maintain this, to maintain the right to use it. During those 3 years maintenance, you are required to earn and report 60 professional development units in those 3-year cycle. PDUs or professional development units, how do you earn them? You earn them by attending webinars, by going to meetings, by writing an article on project management, by helping somebody in project management, by doing a video specifically. Some free resources will give you free PDUs by just attending their webinars or something like that. And they will provide you with a certificate of attendance that you can use to upload and to enter those PDUs on the website where you have to enter those PDUs. Again, the council will review those PDUs and will approve them or not. Some of them are automatically approved. Some of them, they have to review them. If you can complete the renewal process once you have earned those 60 PDUs per requirements and submit the renewal fees. يعني بعد 3 سنين you just renew by paying $120 every 3 years to renew this credential, to renew this certification. If you fail to earn the 60 PDUs during the 3 years, you can ask for a grace year. It's called suspension period. At the 3rd anniversary of the day you pass the exam, and if you have not fulfilled the 60 required PDUs, you can ask for 1 year, additional 1 year of suspension until you submit those. If you fail to submit after the 4 years, you have to redo the process, retake this course, retake the exam if you want to renew your credentials. Okay? This is why it is not an easy process, and whenever you put a PMP, that you are certified PMP, companies and people will take you seriously because it's not a for-granted thing that you sit for it. It's not an easy exam, it's not an easy process, and you have to continue maintaining it and self-actualizing in project management, and they know this. So companies know this. Any question on the process? Yes, Rami.
Yes, please. عندي سؤال بالنسبة للأوديت process.
Okay.
هلا أنا I can imagine or I assume راح بتكون واحدة من اثنين. Either like a certificate one already has in the file, أو a name to be contacted for verification. مظبوط أو
It's 99% of the time the project sponsor that you've entered, they will send him an email or send her an email to sign off. إنه please fill this form and sign it off إنه رامي حكي مظبوط بالapplication تبعه.
excellent. هي حتى أحسن من إنه يكون في document and file. طيب هلا في مشكلة مثلا مش في مشكلة it's a small challenge إنه the earlier experiences مثلا أنا من 15 سنة محل ما كنت حتى السبونسر تبعي صار بغير محل.
ما فيك ترجع 15 سنة، بدك ترجع 3 سنين بس.
بس؟
ايوه.
اوكي لا اوكي جود. لا انا عم فكر انه وين بدي طالن ارجع لهوديك وبيكونوا بغير محلات. لا اوكي that's fine thank you.
اوكي. خلينا نرجع نشرح visually the process in another way. So it's either you have a 4 years degree, like a bachelor degree, or you have a secondary degree. In both cases, you have to have a number of hours in project management مطلوبة منكم to be eligible to sit for the exam. إذا معكم bachelor degree or equivalent, you need 3 years experience in project management, or the equivalent of 4,500 hours of project management. If you don't have a bachelor degree, but with 5 years in project management experience, more hours, 7,500 hours in project management. I think you are all on the left side, probably. If not, you have to have this number of hours submitted. And you complete the details. And for more details, of course, you have to refer to the handbook. Another prerequisite. So the first prerequisite is to have a degree, to have number of hours of experience in project management. هلا اشتغلتوا project secretary, project coordinator, project team member, بيكون شوية زعبرو. Okay? And the second prerequisite is attending this course, the 35 hours of project management education. Moving on, you apply at certification.pmi.org, and they take 5 days to review your application, and you have to submit this application within 90 days مثل ما حكينا. PMI will select candidates. أكيد عندهم trends وعندهم, it's not probably random per se, but probably they say random, but I think they have an algorithm to select those. And you have to pay the application fee. هلا بنشوف قد ايه application fee. If you are a member, you pay only $505. If you're not a member of PMI.org, مثل ما قلت لكم دفعتوا الفيز اللي هي $135. بيخصموا لكم $150 على الكورس. If you were audited, you have to submit proof, academic proof, 35 hours education certificate that AUB will provide you with وقت نخلص, and experience verification forms signed by your sponsor. Moving down, if you pass the audit, you will schedule the exam at a Prometric center, and today you can schedule it to take it at home. And you have 1 year to pass the exam. Again, أنا نرجع نعيد بطريقة visually, okay? If you fail the exam, you can retake it 2 times ب $275 بدل 500 بدل 405 if you are a member, أو ب $375 بدل 555 if you are not a member. Again, if you fail, you can take it the 3rd time, and then you sit for the exam. بالexam, you have 4 hours to answer 200 questions. هل 200 questions, هل 4 hours, you cannot take breaks. The watch keeps on marking the minutes. You can take breaks على حسابك. Okay? So if you have to go to the bathroom, this is like 10 minutes, بس الساعة ماشي. هال 200 questions مش كلهم scored. You have 175 questions that are scored. PMI uses 25 questions to test the exam validity, and they use their own algorithm. But those 25 questions, you cannot tell any questions, and they are not scored. So you would be lucky if you answered those 25 questions غلط with 175 questions صح. Then when you pass the exam, you can use the PMP credentials immediately, and the software will tell you you passed the exam in 3 levels. ما بيعطيكم score, okay? And immediately you will be sent the certificate in PDF version, and after a week or so, you will receive the paper-based certificate. Once you receive the certificate within 4 weeks, the paper certificate, you have to maintain a 3-year cycle to earn PDUs, to report those PDUs, and to renew after the 3rd year your membership. It's $60 plus the local chapter, or $150 for non-members plus the local chapter fees. Any question about the process again? Hey, Michelle.
لا no but
No, nothing. Okay. هلا
all is good.
all is good. When you submit the total number of hours online على الapplication, keep in mind this thing. إنه you can submit إذا كنتوا عم تشتغلوا على 2 or 3 projects at the same time وفي overlapping calendar days between them, like between project 1 and project 2 في 3 months of overlapping duration. PMI بتحسبها مرة، ما بتحسبها 6 أشهر، بتحسبها 3 أشهر بس. So keep in mind if you are short on hours, تفشل project وقربوا البروجكت so that you don't have overlapping experience reported. In all cases, whatever you do, please يعني الاسم اللي بدكم تحطوه to endorse you as the sponsor تفهموه شو حطيته وتقولوا له these are the number of hours هيك قضيتها هيك البروجكت هيك كان الرول تبعي in case you were contacted by PMI I want you to endorse me. ما تكون surprise لإله يعني don't submit those وما تخبروا السبونسر او the person who will endorse you انه you are going to submit these numbers and this data. Okay?
Gabi?
Yes.
Just a question. What is the scale of the projects? يعني شو عم نحكي؟
Any project.
Small.
في يكون شهر في يكون 10 سنين.
So basically في يكون internal project مثلا عندي بالشركة
Yes.
للزبونات للكلاينتس. Okay.
Yes. Internal, external, paid, free. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, the fees آخر مرة I checked كانوا بعدهم هيك ما تغيروا. So it's we don't have paper-based testing in Lebanon. By the way, if you attended this course in Lebanon, you can sit for the exam in any country, okay? So إذا رحتوا على دبي على Nigeria, you can sit for the exam in that country. It's center-based or computer-based, منه paper-based, and for members, it's $405. For non-members, it's $555. So مش هيك عم اقول لكم become a member لانه already بتطلعوا ال $150 يعني return on investment وبيطلع لكم الكتاب اللي حقه $90 هيدي $240 return on investment. Re-examination إذا كنتوا member كمان رح تطلعوا يعني إذا سقطتوا الكورس it's like an insurance policy for you. إذا سقطتوا الإكزام you pay $100 less for retaking the examination. And the renewal, it's $60 for members every 3 years. Make sense? As I said, you have 175 scored questions and 25 unscored questions, totaling 200 questions that you have to answer in 4 hours. يعني تقريبا دقيقة ونص per average to answer the question. أكيد you've done probably similar prometric exams. If you don't know the answer, if you are in doubt, just mark it. The software, the exam software, you can mark questions and get back to them if you have time at the end. But answer all the questions. ما في penalty answers, right? So answer multiple choice كلهم A B C D and get back لأنه probably question number 23 ما عرفتوا تجاوبوا عليه بس question number 49 عطاكم hint على the question 23. If you marked it, you can get back to it and answer it. Okay? And it happens more often إنه question لقدام بيعطيكم hint لquestion لورا.
Gabi, كمان just a question. في mock-up test Gabi?
في mock-up test I shared with you on Google Classroom, which are a bit old. في free tests on the web وفي paid. مثلا أنا شاري I use Kindle to read, Amazon Kindle. I read electronically on Kindle devices. شاري مثلا book فيه 2 exams يعني 800 questions ب $10. which is nothing really يعني. وفي software في online tools بيخلوكم تعملوا الاكزام. في ريتا مالكي in her website she has online tools وبتقلكم انه انتم مثلا بعد ما تعملوا الموك اب تيست بتقلكم انه انتم ضعاف مثلا بالاكزيكيوتنج، انتم ضعاف بالريسك مانجمنت. So يعني you will have an insight انه ترجعوا على الريسك مانجمنت او حالكم بالريسك مانجمنت اريا. Okay, any other question about the exam? انا وقت كنت عم اقدم الفحص طلع انفجار محمد شطح حدنا يعني. نحن كنا تحت الارض وهز فينا الدنيا وكان في كايوس وطلعت احكي عائلتي وطمنهم وكذا. راحت لها شي 25 minutes and the clock continued on counting down. Okay, and I finished the exam على القد يعني. So again, to recap it all, these are the 10 steps to become certified, PMP certified. Read the PMP credential handbook يلي فرجيتكم عليه. Some 30 pages موجودين على Google Classroom أو you can download it from pmi.org. Step 2, make sure that you are eligible. If you are not eligible وما رح تصيروا eligible to sit for PMP من هلا ل3 سنين 4 سنين لقدام, sit for the CAPM exam, Certified Associate Project Manager, not the PMP. Okay, هلا PMP مشهوره ومطلوبه اكثر بس CAPM is also a good certificate which requires no experience. Become a PMI member بتوفروا وبيطلع لكم access to their knowledge base و access to tools و templates و articles والjournal اللي ببعثوا لكم اياه. صار يوصل الجورنال الكترونيك، كان يوصلنا paper based. Sign up for the PMP exam, step 4. Step 5, study the PMBoK guide. Get self-study course. Read PMP prep books. Take in-person PMP workshops and answer as many sample mock exams, PMP questions as you can. إذا بتجوا لإلي, after you finish the program with me, start by step 8. And any question ما بتعرفوا تعملوه, get back to the PMBoK guide to see why this is the correct answer. ريتا مالكي his resources, online resources بيعطوكم كل جواب ليه مش هيدا هو الجواب بالمالتيبل choice وبيقولوا لكم الراشونال behind the correct answer. Usually you can eliminate 2 answers and وبيبقى 2 answers يعني فيهم keywords وبكون تعرفوا تقروا الkeyword that will answer this specific question. وهلا احنا during the program we will do a lot of questions. رح نعمل بعد ما نخلص كل chapter رح نلعب لعبه على Mentimeter to answer like 10 questions ورح يمرق معنا كمان sample exercises بكل area رح نحكي فيها. بس it is not enough to pass the exam. اخذت feedback من كل students تبعي انه your slides were sufficient. What we did is we solved mock exams. We solved sample questions. Study hard and have a plan for study. On average, أنا وقت كنت بالبنك بعت 30 واحد يعملوا PMP. وقت كنت البروجكت مانجمنت اوفيس هاد. هال 30 واحد قدموا الفحص، كانوا مجبورين يقدموا الفحص والا بيدفعوا الكورس هن، لأنه البنك كان يدفع لهم الكورس. ودفع لهم البنك كمان الحق الإكزام. في وحدة بس من 30 سقطت. هيدي كانت أشطر وحدة على فكرة. But which tells you that you don't have to be a genius to pass the exam. You have to put a plan of study, like 5 hours a day of study or 4 hours a day study for 10 days. This is like 40 hours of study is enough. So if you plan for 40 hours of study, it's more than enough. Step 10, take the exam and you have to maintain and earn 60 PDUs after 3 years as step 11. Additional information is found in the handbook.
في أكثر ثاني
ما سمعت حيدر.
بstep 2 بstep 2
Yes.
can you explain more about being eligible أو
Yes. Eligible قلنا
يعني ناخذ the best advice.
eligible قلنا هيدي slide. You have to have a degree, whether a university degree or a school degree form, and you have to have attended this course. Plus, you have to have number of hours that you can submit in project management experience. Okay? هلا
In 3 years.
في اكسل شيت ايه يعني 3 سنين 4 سنين لورا. I'm not sure exactly اذا 3 سنين او اكثر. في اكسل شيت انا حاطه على جوجل كلاس روم مثل like a simulation to see if you are eligible. يعني بتفتحوا الاكسل شيت you start entering information about projects وهو بيصير يجمع لكم عدد الساعات. It's on Google Classroom. It is attached there in the streams.
Okay.
So if you attended this course هلا اللي عم نعمله سوا 35 hours and if you have a degree you still need to know إذا عندك 4500 ساعة in project management that you can submit. Okay? هون قصدنا ب being eligible, make sure you are eligible هون بالتو that you are eligible to sit for the exam. جاوبتك؟
نعم صح. Thanks.
You will receive a similar, this is mine. So I got certified in 2013 and they renewed it twice since then, every 3 years. And the current one will expire in 2022, where I have to only pay $60 to renew it. Now, if you go to pmi.org, بعد ما you pass the exam, بعد ما pmi.org, and you log in using your username and password, بيفرجيكم الستاتس تبع الممبر السيرتيفيكتس تبعكم او الاكريديتيشن تبعكم. So log in. You go to the upper right corner, My PMI. You can go to Dashboard. مبين هون انه بيقول لكم you are in good standing. هلا certification status is loading. This is my PMP ID 1681497. I have reported so far 34.75 PDUs لأنه ال PDUs مقسمين على 3 pillars. يعني أنا when I deliver this course to you guys I earn 35 PDUs. Okay? بس ما بقدر أحطهم كلهم بهالبيلر هلا بفرجيكم بعدين. And I am in good standing. يعني I paid my dues, everything is okay. I can put PMP accreditation everywhere that I go. Now, to report PDUs, you go here, report PDUs. وهون مقسمين إذا بدكم يا education يا giving back. Education يعني you attended in-person virtual classes or formal education. You've attended meetings for your local chapter, in company, professional meetings, etc. It is limited only to 2 PDUs. يعني ما فيكم تحطوا 60 PDUs of attended meetings. You can only earn 2 PDUs in this category. You've watched pre-recorded webinars, you've listened to podcasts, كمان you earn PDUs. You've read a book on project management, articles, blogs, you earn PDUs. Informal learning, etc. Giving back is you delivering something, like giving a presentation, working as a professional, creating content, articles, webinars, etc. Sharing the knowledge, serving as a moderator, as a subject matter expert, or volunteering.
هو السميشن تبعه بده يكون 4500.
لا هول البي دي يوز هول after ما you sit for the exam and you pass the exam you have to report them بالcycle 3-year cycle. ال 4500 هن you have to report them ك experience in project management قبل ما to pass the exam. ما تلخبطوا بين ساعات البروجكت مانجمنت اكسبيرينس وساعات البروفيشنال ديفلوبمنت يونت. هيديك بتصير قبل الفحص، هيدي بتصير بعد الفحص. اوكي
clear enough.
Any question?
Yeah, I have a question.
يلا إليس.
At the end of this course, if we're not suitable for the PMP exam, we can still sit for the CAPM exam, or it's a different thing?
Yeah, هلا مش مطلوب منك 30 ساعة. I think مطلوب منك 25 ساعة أو 27 ساعة للCAPM. بس it's the same material, same book, same everything.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yep. We move to another session. And let's have a look at the environment in which projects operate. أنا by the way virtual sessions بوقف على 8:30 لأنه it's more focused وما في البريكس اللي بتصير بالفيزيكال كلاس روم وما في هالاكتيفيتيز اللي بنعملها كلها مثل ما بنعمل هيدا. So I need 2.5 hours instead of 3 hours and we will finish the program. So بعتقكم على 8:30 بدل 9. So the environments in which project operates. ما في project in the void. ما في project بيجي من العدم. ما في project ما بيجي إلا ما له يكون strategic need أو business need أو organizational need. رح نشوفهم. هلا شو هن الفاكتورز اللي بيأثروا على البروجكت؟ We have two things. We call them أو two categories of factors. We call them enterprise environmental factors or organizational process assets. خلينا نبلش بال OPAs or organizational process assets. ال OPAs هن positive things مشان هيك اسمهم assets, okay? And if you want, they are internal. The EEFs are internal and external, but the OPAs are only internal and they are positive influences that will impact your project, like having procedures in place to follow, like using lessons learned, having a knowledge base, having historical information you can refer to and you can use to save time and to execute the project. And usually those assets are split into two categories. Yeah, policies and procedures, yeah, historical information from previous projects kept in your database or knowledge base of your company. Like, again, OPAs or process assets, organizational and process assets are internal, they are positive, they are here to help you, and they are either a procedure or historical information. Everything else that influence your project is enterprise environmental factor. It could be internal or external. It's something that you have to live with. It may be as a constraint on the project that you have to deal with. And it depends on, like, for examples on those would be Ramadan, Shahr Ramadan, and you are doing work in Saudi Arabia. It's a constraint إنه ما تقدروا تشتغلوا أكثر probably من 3 hours a day. So this is an enterprise environmental factor. إذا رحتوا تشتغلوا على project وقالكم the project management office, you have to develop the schedule using Primavera as its software tool and not Microsoft project, then this is an enterprise environmental factor. إذا بدكم تعمروا جسر من هون من الدورة لجبال وفي عواصف. العواصف are external environmental factor. So anything from industry standard, from regulatory thing that you have to follow, from a marketplace condition, from an organizational structure and organizational culture and the way we do business, the infrastructure that you are using, the availability of resources that you have, the software in place, the tools are enterprise environmental factors. وقت كنا بال 2004 2005 بسوريا عم نشتغل مع PwC Belgium office، كان عندنا بروجكت مع Central Bank of Syria. and قبل ما يتوفى الحريري رجع توفى الحريري ووقفنا البروجكت. بس وقت كنا هونيك كنا بوقت بال 2004 2003 2004 ما في ATM بكل الشام الا بشارع واحد. ما في انترنت اكسس. بكل السنترال بانك اوف سوريا في مودم موجوده عند نائب الحاكم المصرف وبمكتب PwC تحت الارض -2. حطونا بمكتب شباك ما في تنبعت ايميل بدنا مرسوم جمهوري. اللابتوبس تبعنا كانوا IBM، كان في الامباركو US امباركو، سو ما كنا فينا نستعمل اللابتوبس تبعنا. شو بدي اخبركم كمان. So all of these are environmental factors, enterprise environmental factors that we had to abide by in this environment, and it influenced our project. Some of them are positive, others will probably negatively impact your project. So it's either influences are either enterprise environmental factors or internal organizational process assets. The EFs are external and internal. The OPAs are only internal, and they are split among two categories: policies and procedures or historical information. The organization also influence your project. إذا عم تشتغلوا project ب Central Bank of Syria شيء، إذا عم تشتغلوا project مع a new startup tech company بمثلا جوجل شيء ثاني. مثلا تنطلع كان وصل السن سيرفر على المطار بسوريا، وتنطلعوا من المطار اخذنا 9 اشهر تنطلعوا من المطار ونسلموا للسنترال بانك اوف سوريا. وقتها بدنا نسلمه كان المفروض يكون كل التيم، ولانه في كان البروجكت مانجر مش موجود اجلنا استلامه لانه it's so bureaucratic. You have to sign 1 zillion paper. So the culture and the style of the organization plays a role and impacts your project. The communication, إذا عندك modem أو ما عندك modem، إذا بالculture you communicate through meetings ولا you send emails، إذا عندك virtual meeting tools ولا you don't. The structure of the organization is a hierarchical ولا matrix ولا flat organization. والأكيد ال OPAs وال EFs تبع هالorganization environment plays a big role. Also, we're going to see that you have project stakeholders. شو يعني stakeholder? شو يعني project stakeholder? Can somebody define a project stakeholder for me?
Maybe the investors?
Maybe investors in your project, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
I can volunteer if you wish.
Sorry, just 1 second. I've started the wrong session. بس okay, fine. خلينا نكفي. Okay. Volunteers, yes. What else? What are stakeholders?
No, I said I can volunteer to describe a stakeholder.
يلا رامي, define stakeholders for us.
Okay, so stakeholder is, so grammatically, or it's someone who holds a stake in something. يعني حدا عنده interest.
ايه بس اعطيني ال PMBoK definition of it.
The PMBoK. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen the PMBoK, but anything, any project or any action that you're doing, there is the one initiating the action, the one receiving the action, the one influenced by the action. كلهم هول the stakeholders.
Let's see the chat box. You're somehow right.
يعني
Sukna stakeholders are people that the project will affect them directly or indirectly. So you got like 50% of the definition, Sukna. What else?
project managers customers وكل شيء بيستفيد منه.
Yes,
No?
those are stakeholders. But definition, let me tell it to you. A project stakeholder is a person or an organization that are negatively or positively impacted by your project, or the project will impact them negatively or positively, or they think they will be impacted by your project both negatively or positively. This is the definition, okay? So these are people, these are functions, these are organizations that will be impacted and will impact your project. Deal? This is the definition. The project governance, how the project governance procedures are in place to govern the project. If you have a PMO, a governance PMO or not, if you have policies and procedures in place or not. And the project team, the skills, the competencies of the project team, etc., also influence your project. So Anna, I started the wrong slide deck. Let me get back to chapter 1, which is a guide to the project management body of knowledge. Before we start this, I want you to break out in groups of 4s. انتوا 16 واحد او 15 واحد، خلينا نقسمها على 5. So let me do breakout rooms, and your 15 participants. So I'm gonna put 5 people. Assign 15 participants into 3 rooms. Automatically create breakout rooms. So وقت اكبس هلا open all rooms, you're gonna be sent to breakout rooms. يعني إلي بدر, Elise, حيدر, حسام, لؤي are in room 1. شادي, إلي صليبة, ميشيل فخوري, رامي, وسارة are in room 2. Room 3, we have Abdo, Joe, Hamad, Patrick, Usukna. Okay? You have to do the following. Name your team. You will be provided with a set of 9 tasks that you have to execute among each other. And you have only 10 minutes to collect as many points as possible. I'm gonna be roaming across the rooms to help you. Start now, 10 minutes, boom.
The first letter of our names and joining شو عرفني بركي hell. Hell of a team.
Hell of a team. That's nice.
So what do you propose?
The exercise is clear, guys?
You can clarify more بيكون احسن يعني.
بس وين بنرجع نلاقي 9 points يعني.
نرجع نشوف ال 9 points.
رح ابعث لكم اياهم على واتساب. يلا.
اوكي. سو اول بوينت بتذكر اذا بلاقي اسم للتيم تبعنا.
هلا عندنا 2 H 2 E وال وحده، فينا نسميه تيم هل مثلا.
ايه تيم هل؟ واي نوت تيم هل؟
تيم هل
بيكون تيم هل. I'm a health team.
Do a
So
lap around the room for create
no
something.
it's بدك تقرا بدنا نقرا الاحمر. So تحت الرولز يعني.
طيب team.
Name your team.
Okay, set of tasks. طيب. The tasks.
جابي شو التاسكس يعني عم نحكي عنهم هون.
هدول do a lot of things.
اللي بعت لكم اياهم هلا بواتساب يعني do a lap around the room to get 5 points. Create
How
something. Find out something unique about each other. You get 5 points. Sing a song together. You get 15 points.
Do a lap around the room.
Nice.
Yalla, let me join the other rooms.
طيب اول وحده دو على شو
I don't know what happened.
Room 2.
هيدي كانت موجوده دو لاب اراوند ذا روم.
بعت لكم
Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
بعت لكم التاسك بالواتساب لانه انتبهت انه ما بقى فيكم تشوفوا التاسك.
I have them open, so okay.
بدنا نعملهم من ذاتهم؟
Yeah, those are the 9 tasks you have to finish in بعد بقى لكم 7 minutes. Do you have any question about the exercise?
لا.
No, sounds clear.
Do a lap around the room يعني really physically go do a lap around the room?
Yeah, physically, yes.
Wow.
قوم رامي.
يلا انا عمل.
Okay, يلا ها.
هذه.
هلا I'm going a lap around my room.
Okay, create something for me to wear, such as a hat or a tie.
اوكي انا
سهلة.
روم 3 كيفكم؟ بعت لكم الchallenges by WhatsApp. Sorry لانه ما انتبهت انه the sharing will be stopped. So you have them in WhatsApp. Those are the 9 tasks that you have to finish.
We have Patrick sharing the screen with us. Save the day.
Bravo. So any question about the exercise?
في اشياء لازم نكون فيزيكالي موجودين بحصه حتى نعملهم مثل مثلا make a tower
Yes, do it physically. Have a lap around the room physically.
لاب عملها محمد.
Create something for me to answer a hat tie.
نستعمل النيك نيمز اللي استعملناهم باول.
تعالوا نغني سوا في 15 بوينت. يلا if you're happy and you know it.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
يا بيروت.
You know it, clap your hands.
Okay, so شو بعد
النيك نيمز خلينا نستعمل النيك نيمز اللي استعملناهم باول الحصه.
انا النيك نيم انا سبورتيف تعودت. طيب واعطوني الباقيين. ابو صغيب.
نيك نيم اكتف.
Hi, Gabby.
Yeah. Which room you were in?
Hello.
Which room?
I was in room 2. I was in room 2, but I was out by mistake.
يلا رجعتك على room 2. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, room 1. How many points did you collect?
مين room 1؟
ما بعرف.
نحن روم 1. إليز يعني وإلي ولؤي.
Yeah. How many points, Elise, did you generate?
We did them all, I think so.
We did them all. قديش total points?
ما حسبنا البوينت.
20 20 30 35 45 50.
هات نشوف. room 2
65.
جمعتوهم
75.
لحظة. room 1 75 room 2 75.
Room 275, yes.
Room 1 75.
Okay. room 2
75.
كمان 75 يعني كلهم؟
Well, not the name cards. Without the name cards, as it's still.
Okay. room 3
It's for Sukna.
You didn't count them, right? رح لكم شو صار. Games are reflections of our behavior. Let me tell you. It's not the score that I'm looking at. It's the behavior of project teams and project management. Let me ask you these questions. مين كان فيكم البروجكت مانجر؟ مين كان فيكم السكور كيبر؟ مين كان فيكم الريسك مانجر؟ Did you distribute roles and responsibilities؟ ما حدا.
We went random نحن.
Yeah.
يمين شمال يعني.
Some of you بلشوا بأول. Some of you بلش. Yeah, go ahead. مين سمى project manager؟
نحن سمينا مثلا دغري قررنا انه مين رح ياخذ النوتس، مين رح ياخذ السكورز، وكل واحد اخذ كذا شغله هو عملهم.
بس who was leading the room؟
انا قلت لهم مين الليدر، فكان معنا شو اسمه بدر، يعني he started the project عنا.
ايه بس نحن عملنا مداوره.
ايه
انه كل واحد فيكم
هو ليدر بروجكت مانجر مثالي.
منيحه.
احلى شيء اليوم مداوره.
رايحين على جهنم.
Some of you guys started top down، يعني أول تاسك خلينا نخلصها، ثاني تاسك خلينا نخلصها. Other rooms بلشوا بالeasiest task. Let's sing a song. Let's have a lap. في منكم فكروا برقت بأوضة قالت لهم بعتقد ماريز guys let's do this لأنه فيها 15 points. خلينا نبلش بهاي. So the approach was different. يعني كل واحد كان عنده approach بالتيم. Okay. What else did you notice?
We noticed that في مواهب مخبية كان عند التيم.
أكيد.
And that Abdo makes good عرق. And that was very interesting for me just to note that.
But what about the deliverables? Who sent me your deliverables? I'm the client. مين فرجاني proof that I have to accept اسمها the process اسمه validate scope وقال لي خد هيدي التور يلي عمرناها شوفها and sign it off.
نحن ناطرينك بتقلنا فرجينا هيك.
This happens in real life guys. هيدا الضياع وهيدا ما بنعرف كيف بدنا نبلش وما بنعرف كيف to break down the work. ما بنعرف كيف نحط work breakdown structure, how to sequence the activities, how to distribute roles and responsibilities. كيف فيكم تعملوا exercise ب 5 minutes إذا وزعتوا الأدوار مظبوط. So this is a reflection of project management behavior, just for fun.
هلا in our defense احنا كنا عم نجرب نتذكر شو هن اول شيء من شو شفنا بالتاسكس. صرنا نخبط يمين شمال نخترع قصص.
بس انا لاحظته كان كمان الكولابوريشن بين بعض كثير ايزي.
It was رح نشوفها بال resource management انه when you form a team يمرق ب 5 stages. Okay, forming, storming, norming, etc. وبتشوف المشاكل وين بتطلع performing and eventually adjourning. Adjourning where you release the team. Great. Introduction to the PMBoK. ال PMBoK يلي رح تشتروه او الموجود online او digital هو شغلته to define the concepts, the environment, the project life cycle, and to provide you with guidelines and good practices for project management. It describes project life cycles, it describes their related processes يلي هن 49 processes grouped under 10 knowledge areas and 5 process groups. And it contains the standard, it's the book of standard, it's the book of knowledge that any project management professional will have to follow, okay? That is generally accepted as good practice. كيف الانجينير والاركيتكت والمهندس والمحامي عندهم book of standards that they follow. الاكاونتنتس عندهم IFRS or International Accounting Standards they follow. ال PMBoK هو this book of standards that you follow, but can you follow 100%? No chance. Should you do the 49 processes across all projects? No. You decide on which processes من هال 49 processes apply to your project. من scope, من وقت. بلكي البروجكت البادجت تبعه ما بيسمح نعمل quality management. We skip the project quality management processes. بلكي ما عندنا exposure على الcost. We don't do the cost processes. بلكي we will do the qualitative risk analysis, but we will skip the quantitative risk analysis. لأنه etc. So you don't have to follow 100% by the book, but it is the book of good standards that you have to know about and live by. And of course, it defines common vocabulary and terminology. So it does not mean that this knowledge is to be applied systematically on all projects, but the project management team or the organization is responsible for selecting adequate parts of it in any specific given project لأنه كل project is unique. So a standard اللي هو PMBoK is a guide on what to do and not how to do it. والexample اللي عملناه بالجيم كل واحد بلش بapproach معين. في ناس بلشوا sequentially، في ناس they approach it أو how to do it by the highest points لكل task. They started with the highest points. So a standard is a document that is approved by a recognized body اللي هي PMI that provides you with common repeated use, rules, guidelines, and characteristics for a product or a process or a service in which it is compliant or probably mandatory or not mandatory, like the ISO standards for quality. So it's not a methodology, it's a standard. A methodology is the approach, it's the who, when, how much. The standard is the what, okay? في code of ethics, which is not part of the PMBoK, but the code of ethics is a PDF document that you download. بيجي منه exam questions, and you have to abide by the code of ethics. مشان هيك code of ethics is something very serious that is governing our practice, our project management practice, to instill confidence in the profession of project management. It will also help making wise decisions, particularly when asked to compromise your integrity and your values. يعني إذا إجا حدا قال لكم مثلا خدوا مصاري زيادة and skip this quality process, this is conflicting with your code of ethics on project management. Values مثل responsibility, respect, fairness, honesty, gender equality, etc. That has some of those codes have aspirational إذا بدكم, and others have mandatory standards. Mandatory standards you have to follow, and they are subject to revoking the accreditation from you by the ethics review committee. The aspirational are good to have as values when it comes to the code of ethics. Excuse the dogs. Let's get back to Mentimeter, and tell me what's the definition of a project.
بدنا نرجع نحط الكود again.
Yes, it's a different code. 3198.29.7. Probably it's the same code, yeah. بس دايما الكود بيكون على السلايد تبع المنتيميتر.
سوري ما انتبهت له.
No problem, Shadi. From your definitions that you will be writing, رح نركب الدefinition as per the PMBoK. ورح نشوف الفرق بين a project and operational work. Try to be more specific. بدي اياكم تفكروا يعني the difference between project and operational work. يعني work to be accomplished حدا جاوب، كمان بالoperational work تنعبي أناني الألماظة it's work to be accomplished. So where's the difference between a project and routine and operation? Okay, let's stop there. From all what you've entered, the only close to a definition is this. Bunch of tasks that have a start and end date towards a certain or many objectives. This is the closest to the definition as per the PMBoK. وكل البقوة could be used for project and for operational work. A planned job to be implemented and executed can also be a shift of taxi dispatching company. عرفتوا شو قصدي؟ A planned process with a starting date and end date. Yes, this is one part of the definition. Okay, let me take you to the definition. A project, first of all, كدefinition, creates a unique product, service, or result. يعني وقتها جريدة النهار تصدر كل ليلة وتوزع على بكرة جريدة النهار. Is this a project or not?
So maybe it started like a project, but it finished like a system or something like this.
امتى نبلش البروجكت وامتى هالبروجكت سلم للاوبريشن؟
بلش بالفكره وخلص بس بلش السيستم يمشي لحاله.
يعني تقريبا. هلا اذا برجع بعيد صياغه السؤال، عدد النهار سنه 2020 عدد 301 is a project?
Is a task, no?
No يعني
project.
الديزاين واي دعايات بدنا نحط واي ارتكلز بدنا نكتب واللاي اوت كله هيدا is a project لانه the outcome is unique اللي هو عدد 301 سنه 2020. The outcome is unique. So a project creates a unique product, service or result. بس عمليه الطباعه وعمليه التوزيع وعمليه ما بعرف شو هيدا operational work. Okay? هيدا منه project. So you have to think of, is my project creating a unique product, service or result? حتى لو عم بعمل gated community فيها 10 بنايات كل البنايات بيشبهوا بعضهم و I'm approaching this as 11 projects بدل one project يعني كل building is a project ساعتها it's also unique لأنه كل building عنده lot number كل building عنده مدخل معين. So these are 11 projects. They are providing 11 unique product, service, or result. So you have to think like such. Next, the definition of a project. Does it update a product, service, or result? الايفون 11s اللي بده يطلع الديزاين تبعه والريسيرش والار ان دي والبروتوتايب رح يعمل ابديت على الايفون 11 فيصير اسمه 11s. So this is yes a project. عمليه تصنيعه بالصين وبيعه is not a project. وقت بلشت بالبنك صرت اعمل ابرم على الديبارتمنت اقول لهم شو عندكم بروجكتس بالديبارتمنت. فتت على ديبارتمنت قالت لي نحن عندنا بروجكتس كثير ما بيخلصوا. نحن بروجيتنا ما بيخلصوا. قلت لها اول شيء this is الديفينيشن الغلط of a project لانه البروجكت عنده ستارت ديت واند ديت. قالت لي ما كيف؟ ما نحن كل جمعه بنطلع ريبورتس للكوميتي وكل جمعه وكل يوم بنطلع الاند اوف داي ريبورت وما بعرف شو. قلت لها انت عم بتطلع الريبورت يعني you're printing it and you're distributing it to your audience. قالت لي yes بس sometimes بيطلبوا منا نعدل على الريبورت لاي اوت. قلت لها this is a project لانه the outcome is unique. So the process of analyzing the report, designing it, connecting to the data, testing the report and eventually putting it into the live environment هيدا project وهيك منهم projects. So إذا عم نعمل update على البروجكت على الريبورت this is a project yes but generating the report is not. Is it temporary in nature? له start date to end date. حتى لو ها start date وال end date بدهم 10 سنين it is still temporary. Does it drive change? وقت فتت على البنك قال لي اجتمعت مع التشيرمان قال لي يا ابني انت رح تكون الدليفري ارم تبع استراتيجي تبعنا. ما انتبهت شو يعني هيدي الجمله، بس بعدين فهمت وضع البنك بعد 5 سنين انه البنك عم بيعلوا له قيمته، لانه هول الجماعه entrepreneurs بيشتروا بنك مهرجل، بيعلوا له الفاليو تبعه وبيبيعوه. So a project or a program or pipeline of projects اللي كان بوقتها انا عندي around 75 projects بالبايبلاين رح يعلوا قيمه البنك. projects مثل rebranding، project بترجع نقلب كل الفروع بالريبراندنج، projects مثل implementation of online banking for business، online banking for consumers، mobile payment، mobile application، ATM مكانات كلها نغيرها ونعمل لها deposit للتشيكس والكاش. So big projects شغلتهم بهالثلاث 4 سنين يعلوا سعر البنك من $100 مليون ل $400 مليون. So هالprojects will drive change وحيعلوا البزنس فاليو with time. بالcurrent state تبع البنك كانت $100 مليون، مع الimplementation of the projects and the related activities the future value and the state of the project والvalue. هلا يمكن حسان عرف عن اي بنك عم بحكي، ما طلعت قيمته للبنك هالقد. اوكي سو البزنس فاليو از from projects. يعني وقت اجى قال ستيف جوبز it's not about the device, it's about the content and the entertainment. so خلينا نخلق لهم applications وميوزك، وعمل الايفون كسح البلاك بيري، والايفون بدل ما كانت خساره للابل صار سهم الابل هالقد حقه. سو هالبروجكتس اللي انعملت بالشركه علت الفاليو تبع البزنس. Do you have any question? It enables this business value creation, both tangible and intangible. Tangible in the form of assets, intangible in the form of goodwill, in the form of brand recognition, and in the form of the likability of the brand or not. Also, definition of a project في the context of initiation. يعني ما في project ما بيخلق إلا من regulatory or legal or social requirement أو to satisfy a stakeholder request or a stakeholder need أو to implement a change or a technological change or strategy. مثل ما رحنا بالalternative delivery channels وقلنا بدنا نخفف كوست على الفروع walk in customers لأنه هول فيهم كوست، خلينا نعمل الalternative delivery channels الاونلاين delivery channels تا indirectly نخفف كوست على الفروع. Or projects are initiated to create, improve or fix a product or process or service. مثل ما عملنا الموبايل payment application version 2 بعد ما جمعنا فوكس جروبس باوتيل على 3 ايام واخذنا منهم الاكسبيرينس تبعهم وحسنا بالفيرجن 2 of the mobile payment application. So في context of initiation وبتجي هالinitiation from a strategic direction or from a regulatory or legal requirement or the client want to improve something. These are the definitions of a project. If منهم هول satisfied, it's not a project. Give me any project in your business. حدا منكم قال I want to create my own business, my own architecture business or design office or what have you. But you have to ask yourself, رح يصير عندي unique product or service? Yes, اللي هو المكتب والمسجل وفي premises. رح يصير it's a temporary endeavor. رح يبلش يخلص. Yes. Does it drive change? Yes. Does it enable value? Yes. فيه initiation? Yes. Then it's a project. Do you have any question قبل ما نوقف اليوم؟ لأنه ما بدي فوت بالبورتفوليو والبروجرام والفرق بيناتهم لأنه بدهم شوية وقت.
Thank you.
We call it a day. وبنرجع بنلتقى الأربعاء.
4
Deal. Any questions؟ حدا سأل سؤال؟ No. Okay. عم شوف
So جابي كرمال الجوجل دوكس رح ترجع تعمل لنا شيرنج لهم؟ لا انا ما وصل الايميل من عندك.
خليك معي لك
جوجل دوكس.
اللي بده يفل فيه فل، اللي عنده مشكله بعد بجوجل كلاس روم واتسترا خلينا نشوف.
انا بس بدي اقول له شغله لباتريك انه ممكن يكون راح على الجانك باي ميستيك.
يس
لانه اول ايميل وصل لي من عندك راح على الجانك باي ميستيك وبعدين انتبهت.
بس باتريك مبين انه he accepted the invitation and he's on Google Classroom.
لا رامي قصده إلي
بدر.
سوري إلي I meant إلي
إلي بدر invited. check your مثل ما قال check your junk box spam box وشوف اذا اجتك الانفيتيشن ورد على الانبوكس and
اوكي.
Thank you, Gabby. See you on Wednesday.
Gabby. Thank you, Gabby. Have a nice evening, guys.
Thank you, Gabby.
Yes, مين معي؟
Gabby.
Yes.
سوري شادي.
ايه شادي؟
أنا بقدر أحط البوك هون شي محل ولا بدي أبعته بأي طريقة؟ لأنه هو
share it with me إذا كبير share it على WeTransfer أو Google Docs.
اوكي حجرب وي ترانسفير.
او بعد
هو انا عملت له داونلود اللينك، بده يكون عندك يوزر وباسورد لتفوت على اللايبرري تبع الجامعه. هلا هو 7.5 ميجا بايت.
اوكي بيروح بالايميل.
I will check.
yeah.
اوكي هلا بحطه بالايميل وببعث لك اياه.
اوكي
اوكي ثانك يو. That's it.
باي.
واذا في بوك ثاني